tell, then you see the road. I'm out to my soul into the size whenever the smoke clear out of my face and my picture perfect. Do it. All of that green, yellow, that truth, yeah. Tell you the.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to Cypherfics. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the first part of, What If Dannyphantom Meets Shantae? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Phantom Fan 21 on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Danny sighed as he was dragged into a family trip to a group of island known as Sequin land. Danny never heard of the place and was wondering why his parents won a free trip. He also heard it was why different than Amity Park. He heard this was little to no technology there, something he knew Tucker would die about if he was with them and was more in a Arabian look. Due to Danny and his family being in a more modern time, he was sure they were going to bet some weird looks. He turned to his parents who was chanting away thinking of what type of ghosts they could find. Jazz was sitting in a chair shaking her head, knowing that their parents never bother to even look up Sequin land. Danny did heard how this island was once known for having real-life genies. He once read something in a tour guide he found. Have you ever heard of Sequin land? It was once a magical place, protected from monsters and mishaps by appealing guardian genies. Their heroism won long years of peace, during which many of the genies fell in love with mortal men. The resulting offspring were all girls, seemingly human but with a trace of magical power, often lying dormant or manifesting in unusual ways. Thus half-genies came into the world. Sadly, as the ages passed large numbers of guardian genies began to disappear from Sequin land until not one remained. Many folks imagined that they had been captured inside bottles, while others believed that the genies had returned to their own realm. With the guardians gone, Sequin land began to fall prey to evil. In spite of their lack of skills, the daughters of the genies made a decision to pool their powers and stand against evil as best they could. Few and far between, these half-genies traveled the land, each choosing a kingdom to guard until peace could be won again. As they struggle to keep the peace, new villains emerge and ancient foes return to wreak havoc on Sequin land. Is this newest generation of guardian genies up to the challenge? Is it true? Are there really genies on this island? Wondering if I can meet one of these half-genies? Danny thought. He was also wondering if they were able to grant wishes, then again after meeting Desiree and learning how she can double-edge her wishes, he'd rather not find out. It once long before they flew over a small town with a lighthouse not far from it. Danny wasn't sure but it felt like someone was looking at him, but from a lighthouse to a plane. He didn't have any time to think about it when the pilot told them to get ready for their landing. Shantae was the genie guardian for her hometown. She was busy cleaning up her home after dealing with some monsters that sneak into town. This is the last time I ask, be on the lookout to watch over my house. He better not steal any of my clothes again. Or I'll make sure the nurse that treats him won't be a pretty one. She groaned. Bilalo was one of Shantae's friends. Through he met well, he easily falls for any appealing girl. Just once can't men stop staring at women body like they are candy. Shantae was known to be a belly dancer and a good one she might add, but she seen how some men's give her weird look at send shivers down her spine. She only dances if she needs the gems, but usually dances to practice her magic. Shantae walk over to her window and look out over her home known as Scuttle Town. She once told everyone she was a full genie before telling them she was a half genie. During her life in Scuttle Town she had many ups and downs but she had friends to pull her through. She looked up at the sky wondering if her mother was watching her. However she spotted something else. Shantae wasn't sure, but it looked to be a plane. It wasn't one of Ammo Baron's ships, through he learned his lesson last time. She wasn't sure why a plane was flying over Scuttle Town, but she could feel something. Something powerful. She was snap out of it when she heard a voice. Hey Shantae. Shantae looked down and saw Billo and her other friend Sky. Hey, come down. The mayor was to see you. Billo shouted. On my way. Shantae shouted back and rushed downstairs. She opened the door and smiled at her two longtime friends. Billo has navy blue hair, a yellow headband, and frequently wears a determined expression. A white bandage is wrapped around his right upper arm. He wears a white tank top underneath a short blue vest and has dark blue shorts. He also wears tan gloves with metal rings around the cuffs. He also had a real problem with girls. While he does control himself around her and Sky, his little axe gets him into more trouble than she cared to admit. Sky was unskinned, has blonde hair held back by a blue head wrap, and a purple hood. She wears pink and blue earrings in the shape of eggs, a blue tube top with a pink lining at the top, pink bikini bottoms, a blue and purple sarong, brown wrappings on her shins and right wrist, pink socks, and wears a falconer's glove on her left hand. So what's going? She asked. The mayor is letting people from far away come to Sequin Island. Sky said. Really? Shantae asked, shocked. Yeah, and they are supposed to like way different than we do. Wonder what the girls are like. Billo explain. Billo, Shantae sigh. Well, let's not stand around. Let's head over to the mayor. Sky said, and the three started to head over to the mayor. Danny stood up and popped his back. He'd been sitting down for the past 4 hours. He turned and saw his parents getting their things. His dad did try to bring a few weapons, but his mom didn't want to scare people off. Danny, himself, brought the Fenton thermos. While he doubts he'll run into ghosts here, it was good idea to be prepared. The doors open and Danny look over the town. It was way different than Amity Park. It looked as if he stepped into another time. Hello and welcome to Scuttle Town. Danny looked down and saw 5 people stand there. One person looked to be out of shape. Other looked to be an old man, but something was telling him he should be careful around him. He then saw 3 teens a little older than him. One was a boy who looks like Dash would beat up without a second thought. One of the girls looked pretty and saw she had a bird on her arm. But the last girl really made him blush. She consists of sheer HRM pants, a BR, and gold jewelry. She has a relatively thin figure, and is rather short compared to the others. She has olive/tan skin with blue eyes, and long growing purple hair tied back in a ponytail stem stalk. Danny thought the bird girl was pretty, but this girl was appealing. He shook his head. He couldn't let himself be like those other men's. He saw his family walk down and shook hands with the mayor. Thank you. I'm Maddie, this is my husband Jack and our kids. This Jasmine and Daniel. Maddie said. Call me Jazz. Jazz spoke, trying to not comment on the 2 girls' appearances. And call me Danny. He added. Nice to meet you. I'm Shantae and these are my friends Sky and Billo. Shantae said, shaking Danny's hand. I got to say. He looked cute. Sky said, looking at him. Thanks. Danny said, unsure. No girl has called him cute before. He doesn't look very strong. Billo said. So what? Not every guy has to be strong to like. And you were just look at that girl a few minutes ago. Sky said, knowing. So. She different but she pretty. Billo said. I swear Billo, you fall for any girl. Even if it was your own mother. Sky said. Hey. Leave my mother out this. Billo shouted. Danny was quite surprised. It was almost like he was seeing Sam and Tucker in different bodies. Sorry about them. Glad to see we got some new people visiting. Never seen someone outside of Sequin Island before. Shantae said. Yeah, I never heard of Sequin Island before. So I guess we're even then. Danny said, trying very hard not to share at her. Sure. Shantae smiled. Well, it nice to meet you, I'm Mayor Scuttlebutt. The mayor said. The Fenton family looked at him and couldn't believe what they heard. Is your name really Scuttlebutt? Danny said. Why yes it is. The mayor said. The Fenton family had to stop themselves from laughing. But they couldn't believe there was a person named that. Shantae was a little confused by the family's weird look until her uncle stepped up. Greetings, I'm Mimic. I'm a relic hunter. Mimic said, getting the family to calm down. Nice to meet you, Mimic. Seen any ghosts around? Jack asked. Ghosts? No, can say I have. But have seen my fair share of zombies and genies. Mimic answer. Wait. This island has zombies too? Danny asked. Yeah, but it better to stay away from them. They do eat your brain here. Billo said as if he was trying to scare Danny. Wow, real brain-eating zombies, huh? That's cool. Danny said. It is? Shantae asked. Yeah, back home zombies are nothing more than a myth. The same could be said for genies. Danny explained. So you don't think genies are real? Shantae asked, feeling a bit hurt. Not really. We do have Genie, but she not someone we can trust. She double-edge whatever wishes she hears. Not matter how safe it is. Danny explained. That surprised Shantae. She never heard of a genie who double-edge her wishes before. She thought all genies protect people. Is she pretty? Billo asked. She is, but she doesn't really like men. Learn about her past. She was once a HRM girl who won the heart of a sultan. He promised to grant her all of her heart's desires and even a kingdom of her very own. However, she was cast away from the palace by the sultan's jealous wife. She died of a broken heart and old age. Her spirit become a genie, granting whatever wish she hears. Danny explained. Wow, that's sad. Shantae said. Yeah, I feel bad for her. And it was because of her. I'm little unsure if I should ask if the genies here are able to grant wishes. Danny said, rubbing the back of his head. He doesn't want to ask if I can grant wishes because of the genie of his town. Wow, sounds like he more careful than some of the other people who learns I'm half genie. Shantae thought. Well, now that you are here, how about you change your clothes? The mayor spoke up. What's wrong with the way we dress? Jack said, not really wanted to take off his orange jumpsuit. I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Don't worry, your wife and daughter will dress in their liking. The mayor said. Jazz really couldn't believe she has to dress like most of the girls here. While she can dress the way she likes, she doesn't really like the idea. Maddie blinked in surprise, wondering if it was a good idea. However, before anyone could try to talk the mayor out of it, a loud boom was heard and it hit the plane, causing it to explode. Luckily everyone was off the plane, but the Fenton stuff was still on board. What was that? Danny asked as he stood up. Shantae ran towards the docks with everyone behind her. They reached there, Shantae knew the ship they saw. Risky Boots. She said. Who? Danny asked. She a pirate. She know to attack Scuttle Town whenever Mimic finds something or just wants to get back at Shantae for messing up her plans. Sky explained. Wait, not only do you have genies and zombies, but pirates too? Danny asked, shock. Sounds like you don't get out a whole lot. Billo said. I never been here before. There are going to be a lot things I never heard of before. Danny explained. Doesn't matter. Billo, you better help Mimic get the family to somewhere safe. Me and Shantae will hold off Risky. And don't fall for her looks again. Sky said. Wait, you can fight? Danny asked Shantae. Yeah, that's my job as a genie guardian of Scuttle Town. Shantae smiled. Danny was shocked to hear that this girl was a genie, but now wasn't the time to ask questions. Maybe he could help, but first he need to get away from everyone. Jack tried to argue that he could help them, but Jazz pointed out that the pirates weren't ghosts and his weapons were on the plane that was blow up. With no other choice, Jack stopped fighting and followed everyone back to Mimic House. Danny turned to Jazz, who nodded and distract everyone else. Danny sneaked away from the group and found a place in an alley that was empty. It will have to do. As cool as it to fight pirates, I better be careful about how much power I use. I'm going ghost. Danny said before letting out his battle cry. A white ring around his waist and started to split. His clothes was with a black and white jumpsuit with the letter D with AP inside of it. His raven black hair turned snow white and his eye went from blue to neon green. Dannyphantom has just became dannyphantom. He took into the air and looked around. He saw the pirate ship had pulled ashore at the docks. With a nodded, Danny flew over there, ready to help. Shantae waited at the docks as Sky run to help anyone in town. Once Risky's ship pulled ashore, the captain herself was standing on the rib of the ship. Well, look who it is. Shantae. The half-genie BRT. Risky smirk. Up to your old tricks again. You know I'm going to stop you sooner or later. Shantae said, looking at Risky. Well, that's true. But I'm not here for that. I heard you had some visitors and I wanted to meet them. They need to know who the Queen of the Seven Seas is around here. Risky laugh. Well, sorry to disappoint, but they really didn't like your welcome and didn't stick around. Shantae said and got ready to fight. Really? I thought my welcome was good. It was a bang. Risky said and laughed. She then smirk and jump on the dock before drawing her sword. But you know what to say, business before pleasure, and you are my business. Risky said. Don't you usually have your ship attack me first? Shantae asked, confused. I trying something different this time. And this time I'm not holding back. Risky said and dash at her. Shantae quickly jump out of the way and pull her head back. Once Risky turn around, Shantae move her head forward and her long hair went past her and hit Risky, making a loud snap like a WHP. Risky flinched from the hit and turned to cut the hair. Luckily Shantae pulled her hair back before she could lose it. She saw Risky charge at her again, only much faster than before. Shantae started dodging the sword swings, but Risky was smiling as if she wasn't angry about her misses. That really confused Shantae as she jumped back from the last swing. She was about to use her hair when an explosion knocked her off her feet. Shantae pushed herself up and looked at Risky's ship. She saw some of the Tinkerbats aiming a cannon at her, ready to fight. I told you I'm not holding back. Risky laughed, seeing her plan work. You cheater. Shantae said, getting back on her feet. Cheater? Why, Shantae, did you forget? I'm a pirate, we lie. We steal and we cheat. It our way. Fire. Risky said before she commanded. Shantae couldn't move as another cannonball hit the deck behind her, forcing her to fly forward towards Risky, who was able to land a punch on Shantae's gut, knocking the breath out of her. Shantae landed on her back, trying to get her breath back. You know, I long waited for this day. The day I finally get rid of you. Maybe I can take that hair of yours as a trophy. Risky said, place a boot on Shantae to keep her pin. Shantae was still trying to catch her breath and wasn't able to pull Risky off of her. Risky reached over and grabbed Shantae's long hair and held it up. Yes, this will do nicely. Risky smiled as she raised her sword. No, don't, Shantae tried to say. Risky ignored her and got ready to cut it. Before she felt someone tap her shoulder. She turned around and was surprised to see strange boy standing there. Sorry to interrupt, but I think she likes to keep her hair, if you catch me drift. He said, throwing in a bit of pirate talk. Before Risky could said anything, the boy threw a punch on her cheek that knocked her off of Shantae. It also knocked off Risky's hat, showing her long hair. Risky stood up and growled. What are you stand there for? Fire. Risky yelled at the Tinkerbats. The Tinkerbats aimed the cannon at the boy and Shantae was still trying to get her breath back. The boy shook his head and held up his hand. Is he going to try and catch it? Both Shantae and Risky thought in shock. The cannonball was fire and the boy's hands started to glow. He fired a beam from his hand that not only destroyed the cannonball but the cannon as well. Both Shantae and Risky looked shocked on what they saw. The boy then turned to Shantae and offered a hand. Need some help? He asked. Shantae took it and notices how cold he was. It was almost like winter season, maybe colder. Thanks, but who are you? Shantae said. Just call me Phantom. I'm a ghost. He said. A ghost? Shantae asked shocked. Yeah, so who that? Never seen a pirate dress like that. Does her parents have no shame? Phantom asked. I'm Risky Boots, Queen of the Seven Seas. And who cares what my parents think? But I got to say, for a ghost you're a real cutie. What to join my crew? Risky told him then asked. Phantom looked a little shocked to hear Risky call him cute and he even had a blush on his cheeks. He shook it off and cleared his throat. Sorry, but I'm going to have to turn you down, Queenine. Now why do you do us a favor and shove off like most pirates do? Phantom said. You know your way of your pirate talk. You could make a great first mate. Risky said, liking this boy even more. Look, I already had to deal with ghost pirates before and don't need to deal with live ones next. Sorry, but the answer is still no. Phantom said. Risky was actually surprised at that. But she really liked what she sees and she was going to get it one way or another. When then, if I can get you join me Willie, then I'll do by force. She shouted and charged at him. Phantom stood there and saw Risky swing her sword. Shantae grew worried at the sword appear to cut through the boy, but it was like nothing happened. Risky herself was shocked to see her sword do no damage to him. She was half expecting him to dodge that strike. Phantom stood there and smirked. Why Risky, did you forget? I'm a ghost. A sword can't hurt me. Danny said, mocking Risky's saying earlier. Before Risky could do anything Phantom punched her in the gut, hard. It was enough for Risky to cough up some of her saliva as her breath left her. She dropped her sword and wrapped her stomach with both arms. She took a few steps back trying to get her breath back. Huh. Sorry about that. I thought I was hold more back than that. Phantom said, surprised to see Risky trying to catch her breath. Shantae on the other hand was shocked to see how strong Phantom was and he was holding back. She quickly stood by him ready to fight once again. One of the Tinkerbats jumped off the ship and ran up to Risky to check if she was okay. Risky could only nodded before she grabbed the Tinkerbat and threw him back on her ship. Phantom looked a little surprised at the action while Shantae rolled her eyes. It appears, I'm outclassed for now. Risky mumbled before looking at Phantom. Strong, know his pirate talk and far more handsome than the rest of the men I have met. Yes, he'll do just nicely. Risky thought. Fall back. Risky order surprising Phantom and Shantae. You win this time, but mark my words. One day I will have you at my feet, Shantae. Risky said before jumping on her ship. Just as she was about to walk below deck she heard Phantom call out to her. Hey Risky. You forgot something. Risky turned and saw her hat be thrown at her. She caught it and looked back at Phantom. A captain isn't a captain without their hat, right? Phantom smirked. Risky laughed and placed her hat on her head. I was right. He does make a great first mate. Just you wait Phantom, you'll soon be mine. Risky laughed as the ship sailed away from Sequin Island. Shantae sighed, knowing that she'll see Risky again. She turned and partly blushed at Phantom. Thanks. For helping me earlier. She said. Sure, wasn't going to let something happen to you. Phantom said, making Shantae face turn red. Are you okay? You face look kind of red there. Phantom asked. I'm fine. Shantae said, turning away. Shantae. Shantae turned and saw Sky and Bolo running up to her with Mimic and the Fenton family. I'm afraid I must get going too. Phantom said and started to float in the air. Why? Shantae asked, confused. That family you see coming, they don't like me. Plus they try to blame me for the attack. See you later. Phantom said and disappeared. Shantae stood there wondering what happened was true. And what did he mean that the family that was visiting would blame him for the attack? She decided to think about it later. After all, Risky was stopped and the town was safe. She just hoped the mayor doesn't fire her again. What? Everyone had to uncover their eyes after Shantae's scream in surprise. She couldn't believe what Jack and Maddie told them. Evil? How can he be evil if he helped me save Scuttle Town from Risky Boots? She asked, not believing them one bit. And you think he did it out of kindness? Ghosts don't feel anything. Jack said. Don't feel anything. When Phantom hit Risky, he was a bit worried that he was using too much strength and he was holding back. Shantae told them. Holding back? Jazz asked, surprise. Yeah, trust me. I fought many evil creatures and most of the time they don't hold back. Phantom, there was nothing evil about him. Shantae said. She wasn't sure, but Phantom didn't strike her as an evil person. Not only that, he just wanted Risky to leave. He wasn't looking for a fight. He even gave Risky her hat back, showing he wasn't evil at all. And what make you think that? Jack asked, confused. Shantae is known to have a good judge of character. I'm not sure if she gets it from her mother or father, there are a few times she been wrong, but that wasn't really her fault. Bolo said. Shantae looked away, not liking how Be on the lookout phased that. Danny on the other hand was a little surprised to heard about Shantae parents. What Bolo means is that if Shantae thinks this Phantom character is a good guy, then we can trust him until he proves otherwise. Sky said, glaring at Bolo. Mom, Dad, we are here for a trip. Not to talk about Phantom. Can we enjoy it, please? Jazz said, seeing her brother was started to look nervous. Jazz is right, Jack. This island does have a lot to see. Maybe we should take a break from Ghost for the day. Maddie said. Jack sighed. He wanted to destroy Phantom before he caused any harm, but this was a family trip. And because he had no ghost weapons, he stood no chance against him. Fine. Jack said, unhappy. Jack Fenton, Maddie glared at him. I mean, great. Can't wait to spend time with my family. Jack said, saving face. Nice save. Danny told him. Well kids, why don't you go change your clothes so we can fight in? Maddie said. Mom, are you sure? I mean me and you, dress like them. Jazz said, being really unsure. I'm sure you can pull it off, Jazz. There are some guys that like your looks and your brains. Danny smirked. Doesn't make this better. Jazz groaned. Shantae sat at her house after explaining everything to the mayor. She wasn't fired and was able to help clean up the mess that Risky left behind. Her mind drifted back to Phantom. Why would anyone think he's evil? Phantom was a good guy, he was caring, kind, not to mention cute. Whoa! Where did that come from? Shantae thought in surprise. Still, she couldn't deny it. He was cute, but if he turned down Risky better than what happened to Bolo, her and Rody, then wouldn't he turn her down too? Maybe she overthinking it. What you thinking about? Shantae jumped in surprise and turned around. Rody? When did you get here? Shantae asked, though she was happy to see her zombie friend. There was a really strange smell of death coming from here and I had to check it out. And if it coming from Scuttle Town, then there's little doubt you'll be in it too. Rody said. You didn't answer my question. Shantae said. I just got here and decide to wait at your house. You really need to learn to lock your door. Rody smile. Shantae shook her head. She liked Rody, but sometimes she can give her a big headache. She could also tell she was still beating herself up about Risky tricking her. Shantae had told her many times she forgives her, but Rody still felt bad about it. So what's happened? Is there new brains on the menu? Rody asked with a teasing smile. No, Rody. We just had another visit from Risky Boots. Shantae said. I see, but that's not all, is it? Rody asked, her smirk still there. Shantae said, not really sure if she should tell her. Come on, spill. What on your brain? And can I eat it? Rody asked. No, you can eat him. Shantae said, annoy. Him. So you got boys on the brain. Rody smiled. Shantae flinched due to the slip of the tongue. She has no choice now. Fine, we got some new people visiting the island and they are a family. Before you asked, no, you can't eat their brains. Shantae explained. Okay, what else? Rody said, not even bother. Well, when Risky attacked, she was able to knock me to the ground and was going to cut my hair. When he show up? Shantae continue. Who show up? Rody asked, liking this story. His name is Phantom and he's a ghost. Shantae said. A ghost? Never seen one of those before. But I heard that they smell of death, too bad they don't have any brains. Rody said, a little surprised. He fought off Risky and saved me from losing my hair. When I explained what happened to everyone. The family that was here said he was evil, but he didn't show any kind of him being evil. During his fight with Risky, he was holding back his full power. Like he didn't want to hurt her. Shantae said, still a little upset of Jack and Maddie calling Phantom evil. And he helped you and now he's on your mind? Rody asked. Yeah, Risky asked him to join his crew and he turned her down. Shantae added. I see. I like to meet this ghost. Rody smiled. Before Shantae could guess what her friend was thinking, she heard a knock on her door. She turned and went towards it. She opened to find Danny standing there, dressed a little more like he was in her time and really live on the island. The only thing that was stood out was his shirt. He had a purple open vest that was over his shirt and his pants was now replaced with the local town, same with his shoes. Shantae. Wow, to think that the first place I try was your home. Danny said, a little surprised. Oh, hey Danny. I thought you were with your family. Shantae said. Well, I got some questions for you, that is if you don't mind answering them. Danny said. Sure, come on in. Shantae said. Thanks. Danny smiled as he stepped in. Well, this is new. Danny looked up to see a green skin and choppy, dark green hair, and red eyes girl. She had stitches on her left arm and right leg. She also has a curvy yet slim figure and wears a short purple tank top that exposes her midriff, a yellow headband, skull earrings, a matching skull buckle on her brown belt, navy blue jean shorts, and a black choker around her neck. Who? Danny asked confused. My name Rody Tops. Rody for short. Rody said as she placed her hands on her peach as she swings back and forth in place. Danny, Rody is a zombie. And one of my friends. Shantae explained. Wait, really? Danny asked surprised. Sure are. Hey, can I eat your brain? Rody said, then asked. Huh? Danny asked confused. Rody. Shantae yelled. Rody just laughed and walked up to Danny before smelling his head. What are you doing? Danny asked. His brain got a good smell. A smart one too. That make it all the more delicious. Rody said. Rody. Shantae yelled. Oh, relax. I'm not going to eat his brain. At least not yet. Rody said smirking. Shantae just sighed and turned back to Danny. Sorry about her. She's a brain-eating zombie. Sometimes I wonder if brains is everything she thinks about. She said. It fine. Glad I got to meet a zombie that won't eat my brain on the first meeting. Danny smiled. Well, I won't eat your brain because you cute for a human. Rody said. Danny couldn't help but to blush. He never thought a zombie would call him cute. Man, if Tucker was here, he'd be upset I got 3 girls that like me. Danny said. Tucker? Shantae asked. One of my friends. He just like BOLO, through he never gets a date no matter how much Tucker charm he uses. Danny explained. Great, I never thought there was another BOLO out there. Shantae groaned. Well anyways. I got some questions and I might as well ask them. Danny said. Sure, have a seat. Shantae said and pointed to a nearby table. Once everyone sat down, Danny began. Okay, I'm going to get this out of the way first. Are you able to grant wishes? Danny asked. Yes, but I don't always do so. Many people try to make their wishes come true when they learn I'm a genie. In fact, I grant only one wish and that was for the mayor. Shantae answered. I guess you don't got rules to follow. Danny asked next. Rules? Shantae asked confused. Rule number 1, you can't kill anyone. I think you never do that anyways. Danny said. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Shantae agreed. Rule number 2, you can't make someone fall in love with someone else. Danny continued. Why would I do that? Shantae asked. Then, Danny stood up, raised his arms and let his hands drop. He started to walk to Shantae while dragging his right foot. Rule number 3, you can't believe the living back from the dead. It wouldn't be pretty, so don't do it. Danny said, speaking a spooky voice. Rody laughed and Shantae couldn't help but to giggle. They both thought he looked silly doing that. No, I can't. Even if I did, I would never mess around with life. Shantae said. You make nice zombie, Danny. You sure I can't eat your brain? Rody said. Rody. Shantae yelled. Sorry Rody, but I like to keep my brain, thank you. Danny answered her. Rody shrugged and smiled. Okay, now back to my questions. BOLO mention your mother and father. Who are they? Danny asked as he sat back down. Shantae looked away from Danny, feeling sad. I never really knew my parents. I was mostly raised by Mimic, who I saw as my uncle. The other thing I do know is, my mother alive and she's out there somewhere. I really hope to meet her one day. Shantae said. Danny listened and could tell this was a bit touchy for her. Before he could ask another question, Shantae continued. My mom is a genie. My dad a human. I'm a human/genie hybrid. A half genie to make it easier to say. I've been protecting Scuttle Town for some time. I've been fired a few times, but the mayor always hired me back. I always wonder if there were any more half genies out there. I also wonder if there was anyone out there that was like me. She said. Danny and Rody look at Shantae in surprise. When Shantae notices their look, she blushed, realizing she said some of her thoughts out loud. Sorry. I don't mean to trouble you with my worries. Shantae apologizes. It's fine. Jazz tell me it better to talk about your problems than keep them bottled up. Danny said. Thanks. Shantae smiled. Who Jazz and can I eat it brain? Rody asked. Jazz is my older sister and no, you can eat her brain. Danny explained as Shantae shook her head. Rody shrugged and watched Danny and Shantae talk again. However, Rody was picking up the smell of death again and for some reason it was coming from Danny. It was small but enough for Rody to pick up. Then a loud bang was heard on the door, making the three jump. Shantae ran towards the door and opened it. Shantae. Hello. What's wrong? Shantae asked, confused. It Mermaid Falls. They asking for your help. Hello said. My help? Shantae asked, even more confused. Mermaid Falls. You guys have mermaids too? Danny asked. That's right. Shantae saved their queen once and they've been friends ever since. Hello said. Are you sure they are asking for me? Shantae asked, thinking Hello was just once again trying to see the mermaids. Yes, the mayor got a note from the queen. Through he thought it was some kind of love letter. Hello said. Fine, I go check it out. Sorry Danny, but we have to continue this another time. Shantae said, then turned to Danny. It fine. Just let me know if there are any more creatures here that are thought to be a myth. Danny said, though he was secretly planning on following Shantae to see if she need help. Will do. Okay, I'm ready to go. Shantae said before running towards town. Ready to go? Danny asked. It's ready to go. Shantae said that whenever someone is in trouble or she going to go on an adventure. Rody, clear up. Oh. Danny said. Well Danny, since Shantae is gone. What to learn about zombies? Rody said, getting up to Danny with a flirtatious look on her face. Well, actually Rody, I was going to check on my parents about something and well, Danny tried to explain but had a hard time with Rody so close to him. Tucker would kill me if he saw this. Actually I think Sam might do it first. Danny thought. Oh, you're no fun. Rody sighed as she back away. Danny chuckled as he rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. Well, go on. I sure whatever you have to ask of your parents must be important. Rody smiled. Right. It was nice meeting you Rody. Later Hello. Danny said and ran off. Those two are met for each other. Rody smiled. Huh? Hello asked, confused. It didn't take long for Shantae to reach Mermaid Falls. The last time she was here, Techno Baron was using some maidens from a nearby village to make fake mermaids for his evil plan, but Shantae was able to stop him. She wastes no time running towards the mermaid's home. She calls it that because she doesn't know where they really live. But when she entered the open waters there was no one there. Huh? Where are the mermaids? Shantae asked. Are you the mermaid savior? Huh? Shantae shouted, looking around. Over here. Shantae turned and saw a teenage mermaid peeking her head out of the water. Shantae, walk and knee down. Yes. My name Shantae. I was called by the queen. Shantae said. Oh. So you're Shantae, the mermaid saver. The teen mermaid said, floated up a bit. Shantae could see that she was just like other mermaids, but she had her hair black and in a ponytail just like her. Mermaid saver. Well, never been called that before. I'm more used to being called the genie guardian. Shantae said. Yes, my people know that title too. They also say you can turn into one of us as well. The teen mermaid said. Only if I need to. Say, what's your name? Shantae said, then asked her. Oh, I'm called Pearl. I'm training to become the first mermaid belly dancer. I want to be a great belly dancer like you. Pearl said happily. Really? Wow, I got fan. Feels nice. Shantae said, feeling happy. And who's your friend? Pearl asked. Friend? But I came alone. Shantae asked, confused. You mean you can't see him? He's standing right behind you. Pearl said. Behind me? Shantae asked. No point on hiding anymore. Shantae's eyes widened when she heard the voice and watched as Phantom appear out of nowhere. Phantom. Shantae said shock. Hi Shantae, sorry for the sneaking around. I noticing you heading this way so I follow you. Phantom said sheepishly. It's fine, but why are you near Mermaid Falls? Shantae asked. Just taking a little tour of my own. Like to know the layout of the island so I know my way around here. Okay, right. Phantom this is Pearl, Pearl this is Phantom. He's a ghost, a good ghost. Shantae said. Nice to meet you Pearl. You are the very first mermaid I even seen in my life afterlife. Phantom said kneeling down to her. Phantom? I think I heard that name somewhere before. Pearl said thinking. Well anyways doesn't the queen need to see me? Shantae said knowing she was wasting too much time. Of course. I'll take you to her. Pearl smile. Great, give me a minute to change and I'll join you. Shantae said. Change? You mean you're going to dance? Pearl asked excited. Sure, Shantae said feeling a little strange about Pearl excitement. Shantae did her mermaid dance and soon transformed into a mermaid. Mermaid Shantae jumped in the water and noticed Pearl was beaming at her. Oh my Pearl. That was great no awesome no prolific. Pearl shouted with stars in her eyes. Mermaid Shantae laughed sheepishly then turned to Phantom. What about you? She asked him. I'll join you. I can't transform, but I'm a ghost. I don't have worry about holding my breath underwater. Phantom said. Pearl. Mermaid Shantae asked. It's fine. I'm sure the queen will understand. Pearl smiled. Phantom nodded and got into the water. Then the three drove underwater, the territory of the mermaids. Mermaid Shantae swam next to Pearl who was fangirling the whole trip. Mermaid Shantae had to calm her down a few times, reminding them they were going to see the queen. Have a fan isn't as fun as you thought huh? Mermaid Shantae turned to see Phantom swimming next to her. Like he said, he didn't need to worry about breathing and it looks like he has no trouble talking underwater either. You have fans? Mermaid Shantae asked. Only with teenagers. Phantom answers. No adult likes you? Mermaid Shantae asked. Almost every adult thinks I'm a no-good troublesome ghost that putting up a show. Phantom groaned. A show? Pearl asked when she heard him. My town thinks all ghosts are evil. Even if a good ghost shows up, everyone gets the idea that it's just an act. A way to gain their trust then crush it later. Phantom said upset. That's mean. Saying all ghosts are evil, that like calling all humans evil. Pearl said. Or calling all genies evil. Mermaid Shantae added. Or all mermaids. Phantom added. The three stopped swimming and groaned. They turned to each other and bust out laughing. Good thing we know better. Pearl smiled. Yeah, we can look past the black and white. Mermaid Shantae said. And I'm wearing those colors. Phantom chuckle. The three laugh again. Mermaid Shantae turned to Phantom and started to blush. She wasn't sure, but Phantom seemed to be just like her in some way. Anyways let's keep swimming. We're almost there. Hey that make good song. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Pearl said then sang. Oh great, now she got that song stuck in my head. Phantom said shaking his head. Let's go. Mermaid Shantae giggled. The three swam a little longer before Phantom turned to Mermaid Shantae. Shantae? He said unsure. Yeah. Mermaid Shantae answer. How do you know the mermaids? Phantom asked. Well, I met a young maiden in Scuttletown who told me that maidens from her village was disappearing and I offered to help. Once I got to Mermaid Falls, I thought the mermaids were behind the kidnapping. But when I explore the area I discover a mermaid factory. Turns out the maidens were being turned into fake mermaids and the one behind it all was really Techno Baron. Then I learned the real reason why the mermaids were attacking. Techno Baron had their queen captive. I free her only to learn that she is under mind control. Mermaid Shantae explain. UHG. I hate mind control. Phantom groan. You were mind control before? Pearl asked. Yeah, by a human that goes by the name Freakshow. He has this staff that lets him control ghosts. Seeing how I'm one, I fell under his control and did everything he told me. From robbing banks to just causing some trouble around town. Oddest thing is, when I was finally free, I didn't remember anything that happened. Lucky I had some people who trust me clear things up. I've been staying away from things that uses mind control. I don't want to go through that again. Phantom explain. Both Mermaid Shantae and Pearl looked sad when they heard that. Phantom was forced to do evil things under someone else and it might what cases people to think he was evil. Mermaid Shantae swam over to Phantom and hugged him. He was a bit surprised and started to blush but hug her back. Sorry you had to go through that. I never was mind control myself, but I can image what it like to follow someone that tells you to do things that are evil. She said. Thanks Shantae. Phantom said still blushing. Tucker is going to be really jealous when he hears I'm being hugged by a cute girl, who happens to be a half genie who can turn herself in a mermaid. Phantom thought. Aw, you two look cute together. Pearl said making them break the hug. Anyways, I take it you saved the queen and she been grateful for it. Phantom said, going back to Shantae's story. Yeah. She told Shantae she welcome to our home at any time. They been really good friends. Pearl answer. Well, she needs me for something and I better get there. Lead the way Pearl. Mermaid Shantae said. No need, because we're here. Pearl said. Phantom and Mermaid Shantae look up and was shocked to see tall buildings underwater. Some of the buildings looked to be made out of coral, stone, and even steel. There was palace not too far from the buildings. It was made out of coral and seashells. Come on, the queen is waiting at the palace. Pearl said and swim off. Wow, I knew the mermaids live underwater, but I never been to one of their homes before. Mermaid Shantae said. I'll say. This place look amazing. The coral and stone I can understand, but how are they using steel underwater? Phantom added. The two floated there for a few seconds before catching up to Pearl. Phantom notices many mermaids look just like each other, with Pearl and Shantae being the only ones that was different. They swam into the palace and stopped at the throne room. Once Phantom saw the queen, his jaw dropped in surprise. She's huge. He said unable to stop himself. Oh, Pearl. You have returned. And Shantae, it good to see you again my friend. Giga Mermaid said. As it is to see you your majesty. Mermaid Shantae said bowing. Now Shantae we are all friends here. You can call me Giga. Giga Mermaid told her. Mermaid Shantae smiled and turned to Phantom who was still in the state of shock. Oh, right. Giga, this is Phantom. He came here with me because he's new to the island. He trying to know his way around. Mermaid Shantae said. Giga leaned down from her throne and looked at Phantom. It was enough to snap him out of his shock and make him started blushing again. Okay, forget Tucker, everyone is going to kill me when they hear about this. Phantom thought. Phantom, she said as if she knew the name. Giga then smiled before sitting up. Phantom felt a bit better before more mermaids started to surround him. Oh my gosh. It really him. He came to Sequin Island. He's so dreamy. Not to mention cute. Mermaid Shantae was confused and, for some reason, a bit jealous of the mermaids surrounding him. Phantom himself was blushing once again, but at the same time he was looking a little uncombable. Now girls, give him some room. We can give him a tour later. Giga smile. The mermaids back off, but some giggle at him and some even rub his arms and chest with their hands, making Phantom face turn red and almost disappearing from sight. A few of them came close to his face, before giggling and back off. Mermaid Shantae on the other hand was trying not to get angry at the mermaids. Come on. He just got here. Phantom better not be like most men I met before. Mermaid Shantae thought, puffing up her cheeks. I'm so dead when I get back. Phantom thought, still trying to calm down. It a real pleasure to meet you, dannyphantom. Giga said. Huh? Phantom said confused. dannyphantom? Mermaid Shantae asked just as confused. We heard of your heroics tales. How you went out of your way to be a hero beside the humans treating you like a villain. When it not Shantae we talk about, it you that been the talk of the city. Giga said. Hold on. Your first name is Danny. But I meet someone back at Scuttletown named Danny. How can that be? Mermaid Shantae asked, really confused. That's right, you don't know, do you? Giga said. Know what? Mermaid Shantae asked. Dannyphantom is only half ghost. Just like how you are half genie. Giga said. Half ghost? Mermaid Shantae asked. Phantom said, not really sure who to get out of this. Now I remember. Dannyphantom is hybrid just like Shantae. He was once just a full human before he got his powers. Pearl said. Human. Ugh. Can someone please tell me what's going on here? Mermaid Shantae said, getting tired of being out of the loop. I might as well. The mermaids know my secret and there's no point in lying. Phantom thought. Shantae, they're right. About everything. I am a half ghost. Phantom said. Huh? Mermaid Shantae asked. When I was 14, my parents built a machine that would take them to the ghost zone, the home of all ghosts. When it failed, I was dared by my friend Sam to check it out. I did and put on the jumpsuit that I now wear and went inside. Not sure what happened, but I might have hit the on button because the machine started up and I had no time to get out of there. I was bombed with ectoplasm and electricity. Somehow I survived and became a half ghost. Phantom explained. Mermaid Shantae, as well as Giga, Pearl, and the rest of the mermaids, all gasped in shock when they heard how he became a half ghost. So what your human half like? Mermaid Shantae asked. I like to show you, but we're underwater. My human half can't breathe underwater. Phantom said. I'm sorry to heard what happened to you. And really, your friend dare you to enter your parents' machine, without thinking of the things that could go wrong? Giga said, then asked. I know. It my fault that I let her talk me into it. It even more my fault that I never told my parents what happened. Phantom said. Wait, your parents don't know about your powers? Mermaid Shantae asked. No, my parents are ghost hunters. They think all ghosts are evil. Not really easy to tell them when they say a lot things about your ghost half, none of it is good. Phantom explained. Wait, your parents are ghost hunters? Then only ghost hunters that are here now are, Mermaid Shantae said before putting the pieces together. Danny! She shouted. Phantom chuckled as Mermaid Shantae got a good look at his face. Sure enough, with his hair dyed black and his eyes being blue, it was Danny, the human boy she was friends with. Yeah, dannyphantom my real name. Phantom said. But how? Why? Mermaid Shantae shoot. I have a reason for it, Shantae. I'm afraid what people might think if they learn the truth. So I had to keep the secret. There are only 3 people that know, my friends Sam and Tucker and my sister Jazz. Phantom explained. Mermaid Shantae just floated there trying to progress all she was told. Danny and Phantom was the same person. Danny's half human. And only 3 people know about it. Look, we can worry about it later. Did you need Shantae for something? Phantom said, then asked Giga. Giga nodded and turned to Shantae, who was snap out of her thoughts. Shantae, a few days ago we found a strange temple near the factory that was used to make fake members of my kind. What very strange is, that there's some power coming from it. We have tried to explore it, but something is blocking us from entering. We fear if our enemies are able to enter the temple and get the strange power, things will not look good for Sequin Island. Giga said. Shantae looked surprised what she was told. She had explored almost all of Sequin Island and was sure she found every secret, dungeon, temple, etc. But a new temple that didn't let anyone in. Maybe it was locked and the mermaids didn't know the way in. A temple? Do you know anything about it? Phantom asked. No, but it really strange. It looked to be older than Sequin Island itself and has these red flowers growing around it. We later learned these flowers can be eaten and was quite juicy. Giga said. Wait, red flower? Can be eaten? And taste juicy? Do you have one? Phantom said, started to feel a little afraid. Giga nodded and reached over beside her throne and brought the flower over to them. It was in a bubble and Mermaid Shantae thought it was pretty. Phantom on the other hand back off, really afraid, confusing Giga. You should be careful with that. I know what those are. Phantom said. You do? Pearl asked. Yes, they are called BLD blossoms. They're harmless to humans but very dangerous to ghosts. They were used to weak and drive ghosts off, but get them caught in a ring of them and the ghost will be in pain. Some say they can even re-kill a ghost. Phantom explained. Giga quickly pulled the BLD blossom away from Phantom as everyone gasps. Mermaid Shantae couldn't believe some that was pretty was harmful to a ghost. And it was able to re-kill a ghost. She knew she had to keep those flowers away from him no matter what. Pearl floated then in shock. She was the one found the flower and she now learned what it was truly for. It made her feel bad that she brought a dangerous item that can hurt one of the heroes that she has tales about. The other mermaids got worried and swam up to Phantom checking to see if he was okay. He blushed and told him he was fine, one flower really didn't do anything to him. Still the mermaids remained close to him and some hug him. It wasn't until he felt someone grab the back of his collar and pull him from the mermaids that he started to calm down. Giga notices her mermaids was once around surrounding Phantom. She too feel bad that the flower she was given was able to hurt dannyphantom, the ghost hero. Seeing that her mermaids wasn't backing off this time, she reach over and careful grab the back of Phantom collar and pull him away. She even lower her other hand for Shantae who sat in it. She brought them close and look at them. Dannyphantom, I apologize for bringing something harmful to you here in my palace. I'll get rid of it as soon as possible. She said. There no need. And please, you can call me Danny. Phantom said, finding himself sitting next to Shantae. Giga nodded and heard some of her mermaids groan. Giga smiled, she knew that her mermaids were in love with dannyphantom and many wanted to try to get to know him. Giga herself was also in love with dannyphantom, but unlike the others, she had better control. Pearl was the only mermaid that wasn't in love with dannyphantom. In fact, some say she might be really in love with Shantae. I'll lead you to the temple. If those BLD blossoms cause you any harm, I will shield you from them. Giga said. Phantom couldn't help but to blush. Man, he been doing that a lot, huh? And Shantae looked really confused. Giga then floated from her throne that made the other mermaids bow to her. I'll be gone for a short while. Please watch over our home until I return. Giga told them. Yes, my queen. The mermaid said. Come along, Pearl. Giga said. Yes, Mom. Pearl said. MOM. Phantom and Mermaid Shantae yelled in surprise. Pearl just giggled as she followed her mother out of the palace. Many mermaids giggle at the reaction that Phantom and Shantae had. The two snap out of it and quickly swam to catch up. Giga and Pearl swam close to each other as Phantom and Shantae wasn't too far behind. However, it far enough for the mother and daughter to talk without be heard. "So Pearl, how was it to meet your idol?" Giga asked. "She not my idol. She just my friend. But it was really great to meet her. After hearing all the stories about her adventures and seeing they weren't phasal at all. I even saw her dance. I really can't wait until I can dance as good as her." Pearl almost squeal. Giga then smirk as if she knew something that no one else knows. "Did you tell her that you have posters of her all over your room?" She asked, still smirking. "Mom." Pearl shouted, blushing. It wasn't loud enough for Phantom and Shantae to hear, but Pearl couldn't believe her mother brought that up. However, she knew how to get back at her mother. "What about you? I could tell the minute dannyphantom entered the room, you wanted nothing more than to hug and kiss him and declared a wedding," she said. Giga looked at her daughter in surprise and her face turned red. She does have control over herself, but sometimes her imagination gets the better of her. It was no secret that Pearl knew about her getting married plans, but she never did find the right guy. When she heard about dannyphantom and how some of the humans treated him, she wanted nothing more than to swim over to his town and teach those humans a lesson. The only reason why she didn't was because she was afraid that she might hurt Danny or give him the wrong idea. "Mom, he's a teenager. He looks no older than 14, maybe 15. He has a long way to go before he's ready to be married," Pearl brought up. "I know. But you cannot deny he is handsome." Giga smiled as she looked back for a few seconds. "Yeah, but he can't stay, Mom. He only visiting," Pearl explained. "I know, but one can dream, can't she?" Giga smirk. Over with Phantom and Mermaid Shantae. The two swam through the water quietly. Phantom wanted to say something but was afraid he might say the wrong thing. Plus he figured Shantae was mad at him. So he decided to wait until Shantae was ready to speak. Mermaid Shantae wasn't mad at all. She was just confused. She couldn't understand why Danny would hide this from her. She thought they were friends. But then she remembered what he said, "I'm afraid what people might think if they learn the truth." Because his hometown treats him like a villain, even though he a hero, he didn't want anyone beside the people he trusts to know about it. The only reason she now know is because the mermaids told her. They probably didn't know he was keeping it a secret. And he never told his parents. Why? They're his parents. They have the right to know. Then she recalled what they said about his ghost form. If Shantae's parents was like Danny's parents, then she too would keep her half-genie powers a secret too. She was confused, but knew she had to talk about it in order to understand it completely. It would have to wait as they surfaced and saw the temple close by. It was just like Giga said, looks way older than Sequin Island and had BLD blossoms all over it. Mermaid Shantae turned to Phantom no Danny and saw he was looking afraid at the amount of flowers that was around the temple. "This is the temple. Are you okay, Danny?" Giga said, then asked him. "Yeah, just never seen so many BLD blossoms before," Danny said, trying to be brave. Giga notices and knew what she had to do. She swam close to Danny and lifted him up with her hand. "Danny, as the queen of the mermaids, I'm going to give you a gift that protects you from harm. I asked you to use this protection wisely," Giga said. Sure. What do I have to do?" Danny asked, then saw Giga blush. "I know you are just a teenage and I'm way bigger than you, but I made this gift to, well," Giga trail off. "To what?" Danny asked. Giga sighed, then looked at Danny with a flirtatious smile that made him feel a bit worried. "You are well-known hero in my kingdom. In fact, many mermaids had fall in love with you and many dream of marry you. I'm one of those mermaids. I wanted to give you something that would not only show signs that we were to marry when the time comes, but also as means of making sure no one would ever hurt you if we don't marry. For that gift to be given, we had to do what humans do when they love each other. Giga said. Wait, you mean for me to have this gift we got to? Danny trailed off, his face red from what he heard. Yes, we have to kiss. Giga explained. Wait. Both Danny and Mermaid Shantae shouted at the top of their lungs. Pearl, did you know about this? Mermaid Shantae asked her, started to feel really jealous of Giga though she wasn't sure why. I knew about my mother wanting to marry Dannyphantom, but I never knew that she made a gift for him. Pearl said, a little shocked. Danny was still shocked. The queen of the mermaids was in love with him. And she wanted them to get married. Before he could find his voice, Giga spoke again. I know you only a teenager and if possible we can't be together, but I want you to have this gift as way to remind you that I'm on your side and you always have the mermaids if you need to get away from your troubles. She said. What does this gift do? Beside protect me and tell me that we are engaged. Danny said, not sure about getting married. The gift is for you to find out. I don't want anyone else to hear it. Giga explained. Danny looked away, thinking about everything that he was told. If the whole world hear this, I'm not just going to the luckiest guy on earth, but also the most dead guy on earth. Giga loves me. I know I got many fans girls who love me, but I'm not ready. At least Giga understands that. If the gift helps me, then I might as well go through with it. I can't tell Tucker and Sam about this. Danny thought. Okay, Giga, I'll take your gift. Do forgive me if I'm feeling nervous about this. I never kiss a giant mermaid before. Danny said, trying to calm his nerves. Giga smiled and Danny brought closer to her face. Danny gulped as he was stopped near Giga's mouth and saw that she was being very careful how to peek her lips. Danny closed his eyes and placed his lips on hers. It was strange. He thought he missed her lips or was just kissing her top or bottom lip. But it felt like he was kissing her like a normal-size girl. He felt something empowering him as he remained still. Once the feeling went away, Giga pulled back and hummed. I have to say, Danny, for your first kiss, that was really great. Giga smiled. Thanks. Danny said, unsure as he tried to figure out gift she gave him. She lowered her hand down and Danny hopped off it. Mermaid Shantae swam towards the shore and hopped out of the water and turned back to normal. She really couldn't believe she saw Danny and Giga kissing. She felt her heart break when she saw it, but wasn't sure why. It will be very helpful not only for your ghost half but your human half as well. Giga said, still feeling Danny's kiss. I wish I can come with you, but there's no water inside. I hope you can figure out what lies inside this temple. Pearl said. Thanks for your help, Pearl. Maybe after I'm done with the temple and there's nothing wrong in Scuttle Town, maybe I can give you some points in belly dancing. Shantae said. Oh my Pearl. That would be prolific. Pearl shouted, jump out of the water and hugged Shantae. Shantae was little shocked at the action as Giga giggled. Shantae just made her day. Danny couldn't help but to chuckle before noticing Giga's face was close to him. My gift will help you in the temple too. Please be careful, Dannyphantom. She said. So sure. Danny shuddered. Giga then gave him a peek on the cheek, which somehow felt like it was normal size instead of huge. Then both Giga and Pearl, after letting go of Shantae, drive underwater. While Pearl drive was a splash, Giga drove carefully. Danny and Shantae stood there wondering if everything that happened was real. I'm so dead if Tucker and Sam hears about this. Danny said. Why? Shantae asked. Like I said, Tucker sees himself as a ladies' man. And if he hears about me kissing a mermaid queen, one way bigger than any of us, he going to complain I have all the luck with the girls and leave him as just lonely Tuck. Sam is different, she seems to think girls will only like me because of my powers. But when I do meet a girl who likes me as Dannyphantom, then she just growls and try to say bad things about them. Danny explained. Shantae raised an eyebrow at that. Sounds like his friends is going to be really jealous of him. But why would they kill him? Shantae was already trying to give over that Danny and Giga kiss, even more so when Giga explained that she was in love with dannyphantom. That made her think about every girl that Danny had met. Sky, Risky, Rody and now Giga. She wondered how many girls on Sequin Island heard of Danny and has fallen in love with him. She was snap out of it when Danny placed a hand on her shoulder. Look Shantae. I know seeing me kiss Giga must have been hard, but can you try not to let it get to you? Giga seems to understand that I'm not ready to get married and wanted to make sure that the gift was given for another reason. I still can't believe I'm engaged to the Queen of the Mermaids. Danny said, also feeling Giga's kiss on his lips. So how was it? Shantae asked. How was what? Danny asked confused. The kiss? I mean I heard Giga said that was your first kiss. Shantae clear up. Surprisingly good. I thought I was going to taste fish for a minute, but I can't explain it, but it felt like I was in another world. If that makes sense. Danny said, though he was confused why Shantae asked him about the kiss. I see. Shantae said before walked towards the temple. What's wrong with her? Danny asked out loud before running after her. Danny caught up to Shantae who was looking upset. Danny was worried, but how can he explain that he was engaged to a giant queen of the mermaids? He didn't have any clue that there were people out of Amity Park was in love with him or even want to marry him. He thought back to when he met Sky, Risky and Rody. Sky comment on how he looked cute, the first girl to do so. Sky didn't make any other comments on him or do any other advices. Risky only met his ghost form and also commented on how cute he was and even asked him to join her crew. He would be lying if he said he didn't want to try a life as pirate, but his oppression won't let him and he knew it. Finally there was Rody. True, she asked him a few times if she can eat his brain, but she didn't try anything until after Shantae left. He looked over to Shantae and thought about when he first saw her. He knew she was appealing, but to learn she was half genie. He couldn't help but to be a little jealous on how everyone treated her like a hero. But when he heard how Shantae felt alone in her journey and wished there were others like her, Danny couldn't help but to feel the same thing. He too felt alone in his quest, and as much as he enjoys his friends, there are sometimes he wishes they knew about his true feelings. Danny sighed as he tried to figure out how he was going to explain to Shantae he was like her. Shantae continued to walk towards the temple, think back to seeing Giga and Danny kiss. She was trying to not let it bug her, but it wasn't easy. There was something about that kiss that just feels something. She wasn't fully sure. She thought back to Sky and Risky. They both told Danny that he was cute and she didn't deny that. She thought Danny was cute as well, but she couldn't bring herself to say it. Maybe she was worried that Danny was like most men. Or was it because she wanted to be his friend first? She rubbed her arm, feeling upset and sad. The two teens walked towards the temple with awkward silence. Both tried to strike up a conversation, but their words got caught up in their throats. As they got close towards the temple, they heard some voices. I never seen this temple before. Those are some really nice flowers. Are you sure, Mom? There's something about them that doesn't feel right to me. Danny and Shantae both looked surprised to see Mimic and the Fenton family near the temple. Uncle Mimic? Shantae asked, running up to him. Shantae. I thought you were meeting with the mermaids. Mimic asked, shock. Mermaids? Jazz asked with raised eyebrow. I did. Giga had told me about this temple and she wanted me to check it out. She said there was something powerful in here and she was worried if our enemies get it, then Sequin land could be in danger. Shantae explained. I see. Does she know anything about it? Mimic asked. No, something was keeping the mermaids out of the temple. She think I might have better luck. Shantae said. Again with the mermaids. They're no sense thing. Jazz said. If ghosts can exist, then why not mermaids? Danny said, annoyed how Jazz was acting. The Fentons turned and saw Danny, who realizes he was still in his ghost form. He knew his parents didn't have their weapons, but they always had some way to deal with ghosts unarmed. Ghost! Jack shouted and rushed at him. He didn't even get close when something tripped him. Danny looked and saw that Shantae was using her hair to grab his father by his leg and trip him. Jack looked back and was shocked on what he saw. "What are you doing? We need to destroy the ghost before he bring any harm on us," Jack asked. "Like I told you before, Mr. Phantom is not a evil ghost. While Sequin land never had any ghost came here before, we are not the type of people to judge someone just because of first bad encounter," Shantae said upset. "Shantae, you can't really trust ghosts," Maddie tried to explain. "And what do you know about ghosts? Have you thought about why they act like the way they do? Have you thought about trying to figure out if the ghost was evil or good? All you care about is being right. Dannyphantom is not an evil ghost," Shantae shouted, shocking everyone there. Danny sighed and turned to his father. "Listen, Jack, man, that's so cool. I'm not here to cause trouble. And don't say I'm lying to trick you, I really don't know anything about this island," Danny said. Shantae let go of Jack's foot and Danny walked up to her. "Shantae?" Mimic asked, confused why the ghost boy is standing by her. Phantom is coming with me to this temple. He met Giga and is letting him see the temple as well," she explained. Mink sighed and remembered another young genie girl just like Shantae. He couldn't help but to smile. "You are just like your mother, Shantae. Just be careful, okay?" he said. Shantae smiled, knowing what Mimic means. "I'll be fine, uncle. I got help this time," she said. Danny looked a bit confused when he heard Mimic mention Shantae's mother. He looked over to Shantae, was looking happy at that, but he notices her eyes. Behind the smile was sign of a daughter who misses her mother. Danny sighed before shaking his head. He shouldn't get in Shantae's personal life. Shantae was a half genie and she can take care of herself. "Thanks, uncle. But how are we going to get past the BLD blossoms?" Shantae said, then asked Danny. "Not really sure. I hope's Giga gift works," he said. "BLD blossoms?" Jack asked. "Giga's gift?" Maddie asked. Danny gulped and started to walk over to the temple with everyone else right behind him. Soon they reached the BLD blossoms and Danny started to feel a bit weak. "Phantom?" Shantae asked, worry. "I'm fine. Just a little weak," he said. "You can stay here if you want," Shantae told him. "I need to know if Giga's gift works, and to find out, I have walk in the flowers," Danny said before stepping inside the field of blossoms. Shantae looked really worried as the BLD blossom started to let out what appeared to be red smoke and saw Danny fall to his knees. Before she rushed over, a strange ring appeared him and looked to give Danny a invisible armor all over him. The red smoke tried to attack him, but was bouclé off him. Danny stood and smiled. "Wow! It works!" he cheered, seeing the red smoke disappear. Shantae sighed in relief and ran over to Danny, who was looking around the field. The Fenton stood there shocked as Mimic thought over what he just saw. A shield made out of the moisture in the air that protect him from harm. Interesting gift," he said to himself. "Wow! Talk about a gift. If I was older, I might take up on Giga's wedding offer." Danny smiled. "Wedding?" the Fentons shouted. Danny flinched, he had forgotten that his family was with them. Yeah, you see about that," Danny tried to explain. "Giga is the queen of the mermaids and she wishes to marry Phantom, however, she know he's too young and doesn't want to force it on him." Shantae spoke up. "Wait. A queen? And she wants to marry him?" Jazz asked, shocked. "Giga knows I'm a hero and she even offered to list her help if I need it." Danny blushed. "Look, can we get to the temple already?" Shantae asked, a bit annoyed. "Sure. Danny said, a bit confused. Shantae turned and walked towards the temple with Danny behind her. Jazz looked at Shantae and Danny and quickly placed it together. I don't believe it. Shantae has a crush on Danny. Jazz thought in surprise. She wasn't the only one to figure that out. Well, it appear my little niece liked the boy. From the way she sound, she a bit jealous of what happened between the boy and Giga. Normally I would worry about this, but Shantae is growing up. I need to let her make her own choice. Mink thought. The group walked until they reached the temple. Like Giga said, it appeared to older than Sequin land and was covered in BLD blossoms. Danny grew more restless, but Shantae placed a calming hand on his shoulder. Soon they reached the temple and felt something coming from it. Whoa, can you feel that? Danny asked. Yeah, whatever it is, it must be really strong. Shantae agreed. Feel what? I don't feel anything. Jack said. Shantae. Mink asked. I can't explain it, but I feel something calling for me. Something that was waiting for me. She answered. Same here. Danny said. It didn't take them long to find a door that was sealed tight. When they got close, the Fentons and Mimik got blown back. Uncle Mimic. Shantae shouted. Are you all okay? Danny asked worry. We're fine, I mean Phantom. Something just blew us off our feet. Jazz said, rubbing her head as she got up. I think the temple must not want us to enter. Mink said, thinking about the many relics he had to get. So why didn't you two get blow back? Jack asked, confused. But we didn't feel anything. Danny said, looking confused. What? Then why are you still standing there? Maddie asked, shocked. Before Danny or Shantae could answer, they felt something coming from behind them. They turned around, but didn't see anyone. Still, Danny and Shantae could still feel something calling for them. They walk up to the temple door, which opened in front of them. Danny and Shantae look at each other and nodded. They stepped through the door and it closed behind them. What just happened? Jack asked, confused. I don't know. Mimic answer. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 2. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Phantom Fan 21 on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.